Good afternoon, Bears. I'm Jalen Lee, and I'm excited to welcome you to today's episode of Bear News.
And I'm Adam Johnson. We know you're all busy getting ready for finals, so we'll keep it short and get right to the news you need to know. A state of emergency has been declared for parts of New Jersey due to a rapidly growing wildfire. Residents of Ocean County, located east of Philadelphia, are fleeing as a fire threatens more than 1,000 homes and structures. A major highway in the area has been shut down as 11,000 acres of land burned. Around 100 firefighters are currently containing about 30% of the fire, with officials expecting this to be the largest recorded wildfire in the New Jersey area in the last 20 years. As of now, no injuries or casualties have been reported, and the cause of the fire is under investigation.
Here in Greeley, a 14-year-old boy was shot and killed Monday night near 16th Street. While another teen was identified as the shooter and arrested by Greeley PD, residents say this is an ongoing pattern of violence in the area. According to Colorado crime statistics, this year Greeley has seen 15 violent crimes committed with a weapon, with most victims being between the ages of 25 and 34. We will provide updates as the story develops.
As the Trump administration's actions continue to show up in the news, it can be difficult to stop and learn about all the different kinds of jargon being thrown around. So if you've been confused with all this talk about tariffs, you're not alone. Bear News reporter Jamison Rembert felt the same way, so he sought out experts on campus to try and understand this hot topic.
As the United States continues implementing aggressive tariffs on foreign goods, some question whether these moves will benefit the American workforce. One of these is UNC political science professor Richard Bonis.
And I don't think these tariffs will achieve the goals they were set out to achieve, which is to bring manufacturing jobs back into America.
Still, Bonis believes tariffs can play a role if applied carefully.
Some moderate and carefully planned tariffs, I personally believe, would be a good idea.
But the political baggage surrounding tariffs, especially those imposed by Trump, is only complicating the conversation.
So one of the bad things that Trump has done is made that idea look negative, right? So those of us who do support moderate and carefully planned tariffs, we're now lumped in the same boat as Trump and his somewhat crazy tariffs.
Bonis points to China as a model of long-term economic stability and one that the U.S. struggles to emulate.
Look at China. They have a leader who's now in place, going to be in place for 20 years. He's had a long-term plan for what China's manufacturing and industry should look like.
According to Bonis, America's short-term political cycles make long-term industrial planning difficult and risky for investors.
If America tries to do that industrial policy, capitalist investors aren't going to believe it, because they're going to say in 2028 you're going to have a different party with a totally different ideology. Why would we try to invest in factories in America if you're going to have a Democratic president in 2028 who's going to rescind, who's going to kind of go back on all of those tariffs?
And beyond economic concerns, Bonis warns that tariffs could serve a more troubling purpose: political leverage.
The more cynical explanation is that these tariffs are designed to give Trump a kind of personal power, because if you put a very high tariff on your allies like Australia or whatever, those leaders and companies that import from Australia, the Australian Prime Minister, they're going to come to you personally begging for favors.
Tariffs alone may not bring manufacturing back to America, but as Bonis suggests, real change will require strategic planning, stability, and broader vision beyond short-term fixes.
Thank you, Jamison, for shedding some light on this issue.
Well, like tariffs, climate change and our planet's systems can be hard to understand without help. With Earth Day yesterday, the Link Library took the opportunity to help patrons learn about the environment. The event featured crafts like making your own ready-to-plant seed mixture filled with flowers, seeds native to Colorado, plus interactive stations on water safety, local bird species, and wildlife preservation areas. Visitors learned all about the small ways you can help the environment in your own backyard.
I myself I wouldn't say that I'm not into Earth Day, but I just don't know a lot about it, and so it was really cool to learn about the different parts of Greeley that, I don't know, ways to make it more green. Make Greeley green.
The event gave community members a chance to connect with nature and a few tools to help protect it.
While many of our stories today involve seeking answers from experts, students also have their own expertise in their special interests. The honors program hosted TED-ish Talks, an event that gives students a chance to practice public speaking by presenting topics they're passionate about. At this event, the students become the teachers. Speakers present their topics through the lens of personal experience. Last week's talks included acting, common fitness misconceptions, and the dark side of time management. Junior Dominic Valuch shared his experience of logging, everything he did in 30-minute increments for a year. What did he discover?
I realized that I had made a psychological torture weapon. You cannot spend time like it's money, because I know that's like spending time is the main metaphor that people use. But time is not something to be spent, it's something to be experienced.
You'll have to catch the next TED-ish talk in the fall. Until then, make sure to take Dom's advice and be a little spontaneous this summer. I know I will.
Well, longtime journalism professor Eli Clyde recently published a memoir about their journey with identity and sexuality.
My book is Call Me Eli, a genderqueer memoir, and it's kind of my life story, but it focuses on how I grew up and kind of didn't really know what was going on, and then eventually learned I was a lesbian, and then later learned I was non-binary. Seeing that my work's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, it's just amazing. You can't even describe it.
If you want to learn more about Eli's story, check out their book at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, or here at UNC's Gender and Sexuality Resource Center.
Just as Professor Clyde explored identity through writing, theater students at UNC have done so through performance. I had a chance to check out this year's Movement Festival, a student-produced show where the performers don't just tell stories, they move through them. The theme? Human nature. And as I found out, there's a lot you can say without ever speaking a word. Sometimes, the best way to understand human nature is to watch it unfold without a single line of dialogue. Four student-directed pieces made up this year's Movement Festival, each taking a different path through emotion, instinct, and the strange experience of being alive. It's a full-body experience. Performers must be willing to give everything to their art.
Way to create stories and go about performances, and I also think it's a really cool way to connect with other people.
The four pieces vary drastically in style and tone, from a dance experience to a story about addiction to a colorful foray into how our loved ones change us, and to isolation and resilience. This was truly an exploration into the human condition. Whether it's dancing through heartache or crawling through existential crises, the Movement Festival reminds us that sometimes human nature doesn't need a monologue, just a moment. The Movement Festival ran this last Thursday and Friday. If you're interested in getting involved, it's a yearly event, and I'm sure you'd be more than welcome to come and move. Do you like to dance, Traylon?
Hey, I know how to dance, and I love to dance. I could put a little 1-2 into it. You know?
Yeah, put a little boogie into that tissue.
Yeah, hit the folks a couple of times.
Well, I couldn't match you, but I know that I will be dancing across that stage in May.
As you should, Adam. As you should.
Thank you.
Well, that's all we have for you today, folks. So make sure to stay safe out there. And as always, Skol Bears. That was pretty